In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the driver's side inner tie rod on this Ford Excursion. This is the one that connects your pitman arm to the adjusting sleeve that goes down to the passenger side wheel. You do need an alignment after this, although this does not adjust toe. If you get this adjustment wrong, it'll just change the position of the steering wheel. So let's get started. Let's loosen these two bolts up so we can loosen up the sleeve, clamping down the two tie rods. I'm using a 16mm on the bolt side and a 15 on the nut side. Now, of course, if you have the original sleeve, you're actually going to have different sizes, most likely 15 and 15. So let's take these off. All right, you don't need to take them completely off, you just need to loosen them up enough. Up top where the stud goes through the pitman arm, let's remove the cotter pin. Mine is somewhat stuck here. If I can't break it free and take it out, I'm just going to cut it flush and then put a socket right over it. This happens often. I'm going to cut this end off and then pull it out this way. There we go. Even if yours is in good condition, discard it. You always want to use a new cotter pin. Now use a 21mm socket and remove this mounting nut. Break it free and take it out. Most likely you're going to have to do this by hand unless you have some sort of power tool that fits up here. Once you take this out most of the way, leave it on a couple threads so that when we tap this here to separate these, it doesn't fall right down. Having said that, well, let's tap the pitman arm right here and separate the stud. Now remove the mounting nut completely and pull this down. All right. At this point, if you are able to spin the tie rod out of the sleeve, go ahead. For me, actually, this one is kind of stuck. The sleeve is spinning over here, and I need to separate these two. So I'm going to take a pry bar and tap it right in the split here. If you can't spin this around, just look around and find the split. This will make it so that not only will it spread the sleeve apart, make it easier for us to remove this tie rod, but also it'll allow us to hold the sleeve in place. All right, and at this point you want to count the amount of turns it takes to remove this tie rod, so when we put it back, it's about the same as where it was before. "28 turns for me. It's going to be different for you, but whatever number you have, write it down, and there it is. Apply anti-seize to the threads of this tie rod, that way it doesn't corrode in the future. You don't need a lot, just a thin coating. Apply some on the inside of the sleeve as well for the same reason. Now thread this on the same amount of turns it took to remove it. Sometimes it's necessary to put a pry bar in here and just tap it to spread the sleeve open. This will help with the installation. All right, right there is where I want it. Take this tie rod and put it back into the pitman arm. Might have to move it around a little bit. There we go. Slide it through, put the mounting nut back on at the top, and let's snug it up. The torque for this is going to be 66 foot-pounds. It's normal for this to want to spin. Let's just let it do its thing. There we go. Once it's bottomed out, you can torque it all the way. This is torqued. However, because this is a castle nut and we need to put a cotter pin through it, we need to make sure that the slot lines up. If yours does not, continue tightening to get it to line up and never loosen these. Looks like I have to go a little bit more. Slide this cotter pin through And of course, we're going to bend it over to lock it in. The radiator hose being very close here, make sure that nothing is going to contact it as this pivots around and moves. Now, if you're happy with the positioning of the steering wheel, you can tighten down this sleeve to lock in your adjustment. And we're going to tighten these. We're going to use an 18mm socket on the nut side and a 17 on the bolt side. Snug these up. Make sure the bolt is falling right into its cutout. The sleeve is going to have a little notch where you can put that. With these snugged up, let's torque them to 41 foot-pounds. If needed, hold the bolt so it doesn't spin. After finishing this repair, it's important to have an alignment done on your vehicle. All right, this is locked in.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.